Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI Summer Season. We're today for the Saturday to the Great British Grand Prix. Yes, it is a sprint race. And yes, we do not know... Oh, no, we don't know the weather. There you go, just about got it. Alrighty, here we go. Qualifying starts now. No one's set a lap time. This is the first lap of the session. Zingy, he had the race distance yesterday. He knows what he's doing. He won that race. Let's see if he can go and set pole. Don't think he can, because he's gone and invalidated that lap. So Robbo is going to be the first one to put a time on the board as they are up next. In the Mercedes today, this is their permanent seat for the Saturday tour. They will only be racing with us for the sprint race, however, as they do have other things that they unfortunately have to attend to. So they're going to have to try and make the best out of that sprint race and score as many points as they can. Not racing last week, of course, so they do need to try and get something on the board. Gattus actually setting the first lap. I didn't realise that they'd already gone around, and Eager Pro I think is going to be next. So they have gone out way earlier than I expected. Eager Pro either invalid or that was an out lap. I'm not quite sure. But Robbo carries on, still valid within track limits. Let's see how it goes for them at Magnussen Beckett's. Pretty smooth. Into fifth. Taking that risk. We saw Robbo taking the risks at the exit onto Beckett. So it was that Chapel actually, I think. They really did give it some grief. Almost lost the car. So that is pretty notorious for him. In the Merc today, of course, as I said, compared to the Alpine it was in yesterday. So a bit of a change of machinery. Hopefully he can do a good job. Can he get to provisional pole ahead of Gattos, who's done a 28.0 across the line, and it's going to be a 27.4. Quite a nice margin there. Mikac goes and splits them up. He goes and does a 0.6, and Zingy stays out to stay on these tyres and carry on. Sebi is going to be up next. What can he do in the Williams home team, home driver into P4 as he maybe made a bit of a mistake? Is he going again with a full battery? He was, but he's lifted off already. So that is going to be that one done for Sebi. He will not be improving for now. He's still got a long way to go, though, in this session. Devon Young starts their lap for the Red Bull team. Of course, Zingy and Eager Pro will be setting their laps first. Here we go. Eager Pro across the line for the first time this evening. And he goes and puts himself in P3, just a 10th behind Mikash. So looking pretty close between those guys. And then we will have Zingy, I believe, up next, and then Devon Young right afterwards. And then everybody will have at least a lap on the board, but that is another invalidation from Zingy there. He's on that older tyre, so maybe it is best to just go straight into the pit lane anyway, but that does mean now he's going to have to use an extra set of tyres, which he probably didn't want to do. On a sprint weekend, it's extra important to not do that, because then you can really give yourself the best chance just in case something goes wrong. However, we might have rain, so maybe it will change things, but according to the fact that he has gone to try and carry on that set of tyres, maybe it would hint towards a full dry race, which is not what you really see at Silverstone, to be honest. Little bit of teamwork going on in qualifying between the two Red Bull drivers, giving Devon Young the tow, and he's going to go straight into the pit lane. He's backed off as he invalidates, unfortunately, last minute. That was a heck of a shame, but that is going to be that. Sebi goes again on this tyre. He really doesn't want to use an extra set, so he's definitely going for that strategy. It's going to make your car a lot slower, but he wants to get something done at least, as he has to lift quite heavily right there as you go through turn 1 to avoid getting out of shape. The first chicane on the exit here. Turn 4, turn 5. Nice and smooth. Down the DRS straight, the tyres won't really be affecting you too much, although the exit that you get will carry on down the straight, so worn tyres aren't going to give you the best exit. However, 2 laps, they're going to give you some good performance. It's just they're not going to be as good as everybody else will have had on their runs. Into Copse Corner, riding that curve already, really setting himself up nice and early through C9. That is Copse Corner, of course, where the famous crash happens, but we will not get into the politics of that. Maggots and Beckett's, and then Chapel on the exit, having to take it a little bit easy. DRS available, and now down the straight, 6 tenths up So it's going to be a nice improvement, but it's only going to be a 29.9? Is that correct? 29.9? He has lifted a lot at that final corner though, or final sector I think, so he will be able to improve significantly still. So we do not know what time he is going to be setting around that final corner. Very easy to lose it all here, but he will get the job done. A 29.3 in the end. So he does improve a nice amount, but it's not enough to bump himself up any further than he currently was. And he retires from the session. He's not going to do any more laps, interestingly. So that is going to be Sebi done with qualifying. He is just going to sit this one out and hope, well, you know what? It's a sprint race. I should be able to get something done in the race, and I think maybe that's the best idea because he gets to save his tyres. That is a very viable strategy here for Sebi, and it looks like that is what he's going to go for. Alrighty. Devon Young on his way out. Zingy on his way out. He is going to be the next one to set a lap time. They don't have anything on the board. 8 minutes to go. Still got a decent amount of time to go for 2 solid runs. So he's not really got too much pressure, but obviously the more laps you do, the more tyres you have to go through to get that peak performance. Maybe he would even consider doing the same as Sebi and just not continuing with qualifying after he goes for a second run on that tyre. Although I think Sebi has only used one. Maybe he accidentally chose the hard compound for the session? I don't know. It's very, very possible. But we won't find out until the race is around, of course. Thingy into final chicane to start his lap. And he will open it up by going nice and wide, getting the throttle down, shifting up to 5th to minimise wheel spin. And relax. Get that car in a straight line and prepare for turn 1. Cut as much as you dare. Doesn't go too far to the inside, but still a nice amount. He just wants to get a valid lap in right now and see where it puts him. Gear 4 brings it far to the right, cuts in to the left, and on the exit curve he does not ride actually. In turn 5, DRS available. I critique him, but he is a lot faster than me, so I can't really blame him too much. Sending it nicely into turn 6 up to 7. Double apex. Wait for that second apex, then you get on the throttle in 5th. Once again, just minimising that wheel spin in 5th. Now, Copse Corner. Here we go. Down to 7th. Slight lift. Maybe brake if you really want to brake. Other than that, you probably don't need to brake. Just kind of lets the car run wide to gain that time. It does lift on the entry at Maggots of Buckets at a chapel. Doesn't go to 5th to try and keep a bit more stability, consistency, have more confidence on the throttle. DRS for the final time once again into Stowe. Phenomenal corner right here. Down 2 gears, send it through, doesn't invalidate, keeps it nice and tidy into the final chicane now. Is this club? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, at the final corner, what's it going to be for Zingy in the AlphaTauri? Is he going to get a competitive lap time? He will, for sure. Lovely, lovely stuff. That is about 4 or 5 tenths improvement over Robbo there. So he has got that down pretty nicely straight away. Robbo has invalidated. He's going again on this tyre. That's a common theme, interestingly. Lots of people going again and again and again on that same tyre, which does make me very confused to see what's going to happen for the main race. But Robbo, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to have a look at pole position. Got a lot of people going to have a lot of work to do if they want to have a look at pole position. That is Devon Young going across the line to set a 27.397. Very good stuff indeed as he finally gets his first lap done. That was also Eager Pro going up the order to a 27.4. The question is, will Robbo be able to get himself up there? I think he probably can. It's just whether that slightly older tyre is going to do the trick for him or not. Very close to track limits on the exit there, really trying to push everything out of these tyres. And he invalidates again, unfortunately. He's going to be furious with himself right there, trying to send it as hard as he possibly could. But no, that will be that. He was down a little bit. That's probably because he made that mistake. Maybe he'll come out again. We'll see. But other than that, he's going to be starting 4th or lower. And if that is going to be the case, then he's got a bit of work to do, of course, in the sprint race, which is always fun to get around. Sebi, for sure, is at the back now after their qualifying run ended early, of course. Hold on a second, guys. I'm just going to check something, so I do apologise for the delay. Alrighty, we are good to go. We are back. Here we go. Alright, so everyone in the pit lane right now, just waiting for the final moments of qualifying. Some may not even come out again. It might be just game over. We're going to wait and see who comes out. That looks like it's the McLaren. So that's going to be Gatos out first, out of the lot. Is everybody going to follow on? I think you can wait to about two minutes probably. That's going to be the absolute limit. Then you've got a 30-second deficit to let the clock run down. So 2.5 minutes really to be safe, which is going to be the target of many drivers, I believe. But Gatos going nice and early, getting that fresh track, not going to be compromised in any way whatsoever, which is always what you want to see. So he currently sits in P6. That is last of the current runners at 28.0. He's got about 4 tenths to try and catch up to Mikash ahead, and another 2 tenths on top of that to get to Robbo and also Igapro. Maybe even if he can find an extra tenth to get to Devon. A little bit more hard work to try and get to Zingy. Zingy might be good, and I think he's going to definitely leave it to the last minute if he even comes out, that is. Does he really want pole position? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, not many people on their way. Zingy is on his way to try and hold on to that pole position. No one else, it seems, is leaving the pit lane. One of the Red Bulls are on their way down as well. Don't know who that is quite yet, but we will find out very quickly. And it is going to be the Red Bull of Mikash. Mikash is going to go and try and have a go at improving. The other Red Bull and the Mercedes of Robbo is out. It's just Sebi who hasn't come out of the pit lane, of course. Here we go. The McLaren starts their final run of the session, and the first one to go for the end game of qualifying. Let's call it that. That'll be nice and fun. Through into turn 3. Send it. They ride the curb on the entry a little bit, which can be a bit crazy. Third gear, open up the steering. They do ride the curb to try and get that steering lock nice and open, so they don't have to worry about traction as much, of course, when you go into turn 6. Late apex, caught nicely. Keep it tight to the inside, drift out a little bit if you want. Many ways to take this corner. Almost losing the rears. They have to have a slight correction. Running down to Cops, they do have a car right in front of them, which isn't going to be ideal, but the car in front can't wait too long because they're also trying to get their final qualifying lap in. They're going to have to go through Cops, Max Beckett's pretty quickly. After that, they'll have to move out the way. Navigating it nicely is Gatos. The orange car gets through. The Red Bull is going to have to let him go here. He's going to have to let him go. I don't know if he realises, because he's still going to the final corner of the circuit. He maybe misjudged that a little bit, and he's impeded him. And that is unfortunately going to be a penalty awarded. I do not believe it. That was not Mikash, that was Devon Young, just not realising that there was a car behind him who was on a lap. That is going to be his qualifying done. He's going to be furious. He might be able to go again, but he won't have any energy to do so. That is such a shame. Such a shame there for Gatos. Luckily, it is a sprint weekend, so he can still make progress after this one, but he's going to be furious. Zingy is on his final run right here. Let's watch on board. Sector line, he went purple in the first sector. We don't know how much by quite yet, but we will find out, I'm sure, very, very soon. Into Cops Corner. Send it nice and hard. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he will. Not running wide, not trying to abuse any bugs in qualifying. It's a bit too much of a risk. Some people have tried to do it, and some people have failed with an invalidation. Eager Pro 27.1. Zingy off the circuit, still improving by the smallest of margins. He's going to lose a lot of time by the time he gets to Stud, however. Can he really find anything in the final few corners to improve and hold that pole position, just about avoiding invalidation by staying off the track momentarily? And out the final 2 corners he will go across the line. How much will he improve by? If at all, a tenth exactly, and he'll do a 0.8 there to put himself right up there. Mikash a P3, 27.2. Devon Young, he will improve, but it's not enough to get any more positions. And Robbo, he will not improve. He does not find a lap, unfortunately. That is going to be qualifying done. Zingy will take pole position for the British Grand Prix like he did yesterday. Let's see how it goes for him. We know he's pretty good at starts. Unless he has a big issue, he should be good to go. That is Zingy taking pole position, Eager Pro in P2, and Mikash in P3. Let's have a quick look at the race director just in case we need to. And then we'll be back for the sprint race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn 1? We're finally away. Zingy gets away very, very well. The Aston diving to the outside as he holds on to P2. And, of course, the Red Bull slots into P3. But that's Robbo up the order already. Absolutely phenomenal for him. Sebi also making progress over Gatos already. But Gatos comes back to the outside. The Mercedes will not be able to find a way through. They're gonna have to back off after that one, and to the inside goes Mikash having a look. Now it's a drag race down the straight. I don't know what's gonna happen here. We've got the McLaren also trying to get involved in this one. He will not be able to find a way of the wall of the cars in front. Robbo having a look. I think he gets the better of him. Will he get a better exit? There's contact. I do not believe it. Robbo spinning the car in front of him. That is the most unfortunate thing you can possibly see. I do not know what to say. Hopefully Mikash doesn't have damage, but that did not look good at all. Zingy leads the way by 4/10. Eagerpo sitting right behind him. This is perfect for him. And Devon Young, what a start from him. Very, very nicely held. Gatos, P4. After all that, of course, Robert Mikash having mistakes, and Sebi seemingly managing to lose the position after they battled earlier on. So very good job indeed from him. Semi just kind of sitting there, trying to take it easy after that qualifying session. Anything is good if he can improve on it, of course. So that is how that has gone. Robbo wouldn't have damage on their car, but they do have very hot tyres, and that is going to be them out of this race already. That was an interesting crash for sure. Safety car will be deployed. Alrighty, safety car deployed, and that is going to be that done. Zingy will lead the way. Are we going to be seeing any pit stops? It would probably not be wise to. However, if you go for the softs, then you've got effectively 2 sets of mediums available. That being said, they do take away your set of mediums, so yeah, they're not going to be worrying about that. They're not going to be making any pit stops, so don't expect any jumble up in the order. It's just going to be possibly Mikash going into the pit lane to repair damage if they do have any damage. Regardless, for them, they will be able to catch up, which is always good news, and they'll be back into this battle after the issues that they had just earlier on, of course. So, yeah. That was a little bit of a nifty start, but we're finally settled, and of course we will go for the restart within a couple laps time. 9 laps in the sprint race right here, so yeah, it's not the longest of sprint races, but it still gives us enough to be able to improve. Nobody going into the pit lane, it would be very silly to do so. Although Mikash also, he has an excuse. He does go into the pit lane. We're going to watch on board and see if he does get a front wing change, because although that wasn't a hard hit, it was a bit of a scrape, and a scrape is sometimes enough to give yourself a little bit of damage, and it's probably not enough to warrant a pit stop, but if you get an opportunity like this to do so, you're definitely going to be going into the pit lane. He does get a front wing change, and he does go onto that soft tyre, so that is going to be that sorted. And he's going to try and take it all the way to the end. His tyres will be good to go to the end. They might even be faster than everybody else's. It's just whether he can make it work within the time he's got. Of course, you haven't got that many laps in the sprint race, hence it being a sprint. Also, his tyres might die out. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty. So we're going to be going for the restart on about lap 5. We're going to have lap 5. 5. What the hell? 5 laps. We're going to have a 5-lap sprint effectively to the end. His soft tyres are going to be good to go. They might get slightly old towards the end, but I don't think they're going to be bad enough to really be that much at a disadvantage compared to a set of mediums. We'll see, of course, though. Time will tell. Now, like I said, they haven't got that much time to be able to get all these moves done. So, with about 5 laps, that soft tyre and not a standing start, it's a rolling start, it's going to be very, very tough to get sorted. But not impossible. No one's got any time penalties as of now, so he won't be able to nab any positions through that. Just to confirm, we will be going for one more lap here, so we will be restarting this race on lap 5, and Zingy will lead the way. DRS, that won't be available until, I think it's the lap after... Is it 2 laps after the safety car, or is it the lap after the safety car? 2 laps after the safety car, isn't it? It's 2 laps, it's 2 laps. Okay, so I don't know where my brain was going there. 2 laps after the safety car. We're only going to get about 3 laps of DRS, which in that situation, it does make ERS hard to manage, but a lot easier than it would if you had to go the whole race distance. So Mikash, he's got to try and use both his energy and his tyres in harmony to get as much performance as he possibly can out of the car. Will he be able to do it, though? That is the question. Alrighty. Currently, if you finish last without DNFing, you will score about, what's that, 3 points? 8 points for a win, none for fastest lap. We're here for the final event of the F1 22 game ever in LSI. Maybe a 5-lap stream would be possible, but other than that, it's just going to be the final race event. Full stop for us here. Waiting for that call in, and that'll be that. We'll be going for the restart for the sprint race, and then we'll have one more race to go, which will be the main race, of course. The sprint race, brand new added to this game, which has brought us a lot of joy and interesting situations. Very, very slow Zingy is going right here, which makes it incredibly difficult for everybody behind to manage. They're also having to go very slow. Safety car's called in. You can't use the limiter. Zingy does go for it, and he catches everybody napping quite well, like he did exactly the same thing in the F1 tier this season. Zingy spots, makes use of it. Ego Pro spots it kind of well. Devon Young completely caught off guard. Maybe even the limiter catching him a bit there. I think Zingy might have been caught by the limiter themselves, actually. Sebi and Mika switching positions already as he's got that soft tyre, although I don't know if he made that move before the line, so we'll have to double check that one. But that was yeah, how it's gone, and that is what we're going to be looking at for now. But the restart is done, and we're good to go. Bit of a gap between P1 and 2, and of course P3 and 2. That might change if we can get a battle, but Gatos currently is pretty close to the back of Devon Young. They may be looking to try and have a go at a move, but Devon Young is going to be desperately looking for that DRS range of the Aston Martin to help him defend from the McLaren behind. Mikash, he wants to just fire up those tyres into Michael Beckett's. He will go, and he's going to be loving that. The pace advantage he'll have will be phenomenal, but that DRS later on might cause a couple of issues, as it won't be so easy to get moves done in a straight line, of course. You can see how much he gains on the other drivers, which is absolutely epic. Devon Young catches a lot to Ego Pro right there. Gatos is almost within DRS range, but they do lose out a little bit. So yeah, pace is changing a fair bit, and everybody's just trying to find their feet early on. They got to make sure that they don't use the energy too quickly, otherwise they will be in a big spot of trouble. 29.3 for Devon Young as we are all on the restart. I think he must have used a bit of energy to catch up to Ego Pro there, because all of a sudden now Gatos is 1.2 seconds behind. So he's really trying to work together with his teammate, prevent the McLaren from getting DRS to make it easier for his teammate to make progress up the order. Zingy not letting Ego Pro in DRS range, however. He's just letting them go. That being said, Ego Pro, he's got a nice decent margin, 7/10. You're going to be pretty good to go. I don't think you're going to be worrying too much. Zingy does seem to drop a little bit though, allowing Ego Pro to catch up slightly, get into the DRS range. He uses a bit of energy to try and get a good enough run to hold it as he gets to Michael Beckett's. Little bit of a moment off the circuit there for Zingy, which is not what you want to see, but I think he should be alright. He's not going to be worrying too much, I don't think. DRS will be available for him. I don't know if DRS is available this lap though, so he's just holding on for now. Devon Young not able to get into DRS almost on Ego Pro. They catch up a little bit on the back straight, but they've got to be careful for that energy deployment. We got Mikash sitting right behind here. He's looking good to go. Loving life. Sebi, he's made a lot of progress, but unfortunately he doesn't have the correct tyres to do anything much more, which is such a shame because he was doing really well, but sometimes the safety car doesn't go in your favour. He's still got the main race to go, and I'm sure he can do well in that one. Zingy leads the way. DRS available to Igapro. He gets the detection line. So does Devon Young. Gatos does not. So Mikash is going to be really trying to put some pressure on. He's already put the pressure on. He's already got the move done. And he's going to hold the DRS to secure it. ERS is being used by Gatos, but he's going to be nowhere near enough. Close. Nowhere close enough to be able to make an overtake. That is phenomenal for Mikash. He's going to now try and hunt his teammate down if at all possible. 7 laps. Currently down out of 9. It's going to be hard, but it might just be possible. DRS train is up ahead though, which will never be easy to catch, of course. So Mikash has just got to use the energy now, I think, rather than later, just to get himself within DRS range. Otherwise, it's not going to be quite straightforward. But maybe he wants to save it. I don't quite know. ERS is being used by Devon Young to hold on to Igapro. Igapro has that DRS. So the double DRS train makes it a lot more difficult for you to hold on despite having DRS, which just kind of boggles your mind a little bit, but it cancels it out. So it does give you that advantage if you're sitting P2 in a train. Igapro loving life at the moment. Zingy is probably not going to let him get too close though. Sebi retires from the session in the pit lane. He's not going to be carrying on with this one, and he's just going to take it into the race session after that. Zingy, Igapro sitting in P2 with the DRS. This time Devon Young might have lost out. Let's see. Let's see if that rear wing opens. He did not get DRS. Oh, he does have DRS. He's just not using it. Unless that's a bug. I don't know. Maybe that's a bug, because we've seen that a couple times in the past this season where people have got DRS but just not used the button, which has been very confusing. But yeah, that's how it goes, I guess, sometimes. 2.3 seconds is the gap to Devon Young and Mikash, but he's not closing in, so those tyres are already done. Now, Gatos has an opportunity. They don't have the energy, though, to fight, so they need to make sure that that DRS is enough for them to be quick in the straight line. Mikash, as long as he keeps it tidy, he'll be good to go. He's got a lot of energy to keep him safe. DRS is available, and it is pretty powerful, it seems. He is catching up, and he's not using the energy. He's banking on Gatos not making an overtake. Gatos sends it to the inside. That could have been catastrophic, but Mikash just about outbreaks him and stays in front. Gatos having another look, but there's no chance of him getting there. Mikash does not even flinch. That is going to mean McLaren sitting behind after using all their energy on that lap. Now they get to the final lap. Do they have enough to hold on? I don't know, and I don't know if it's going to be so straightforward at all. Wanted to try and force Mikash into a mistake as they got into the braking zone, but it's not going to happen. He will just sit behind. Turn 6. Oh, loses the car, and that is unfortunately going to be Gatos losing so much momentum. With the energy that Mikash has, I don't think it's going to be possible for him to catch up. Grzak, you might have a chance to join if you join quick enough, but you're going to have to go very, very fast. You still have time to get in for the main race. Zingy leads the way, 1.1 seconds. This time Igapro does not get DRS, but it doesn't matter. Devon Young 2 seconds out of DRS from that train. That is how powerful the train is at Silverstone. It is just one of those circuits. The DRS zones evenly spread does mean it's incredibly hard for anybody to be able to make progress. Zingy is going to come around the final corner to command a very, very nice victory. Well played indeed. From start to finish, from safety car restart to finish, a fastest lap to end it all off, and that is maximum points. Although he doesn't get a point for fastest lap in the sprint race. Well done indeed for Zingy there. Being the driver of the day, I think that is well put indeed. And that's how it was gonna go. By the way, they don't get 3 and 2 points for fastest lap. That's just a bug there. Zingy takes the winning pro in P2, Devon Young, Mikash, Gatos, and retiring will Sebi and Robbo. Race director will not be displayed because the game doesn't want us to see it. We'll be back for the main race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are finally away. There you go. Just about. Zingy gets away very, very well. Once again, Eager Pro slotting him into P2, but no, he will not. The Red Bull jumps him off the line. Devon Young making good progress. Mikash also having a bit of a battle with the McLaren. The McLaren trying their best to get back in front like they did earlier on at the beginning of the sprint race. Nope, they'll have to hold on. That is going to be how that one goes. He's going to use all the energy he possibly can to get alongside into turn 6. He will get alongside into turn 2. He's going to try and fight it nice and hard, and he's just going to try and squeeze Mikash right to the line. I don't know if that's really going to work for him, though. And here we go. This is going to be interesting. Robbo, who's meant to be retired from the main race, is still going on the soft tyre, so causing a bit of havoc right off the line, which is going to be a bit controversial, but okay, well, he makes the move. So he's still in this one just about. I did not realise that Sebi, unfortunately, has completely left the session, so they're not going to be with us and they're going to be disconnected from the lobby. That's a heck of a shame, but never mind. Zingy and Devon Young now going to be fighting right here. He's on that medium tyre, so he has that pace performance. Zingy's not going to be too happy with that one, of course, but we'll see. It might change. Mikash right behind Robbo, but they aren't able to get anything on him as Robbo makes more progress up the field on that soft tyre, and he's going to continue to try and do that. As long as it's all safe, he'll be good to go. Devon Young leads the way, gets that fastest lap, and he's actually not used that much energy, so really those medium tyres are working very, very nicely. Zingy is going to come back though later on, that is for sure. The question is, will he be able to hold on to get DRS, or is he just going to drop out maybe a little bit? We'll see. Phenomenal exit once again from Robbo, as he's going to be trying to use everything he can on that soft tyre to make it work. To the inside line, turn 6, once again, popular place to overtake. Igapro's not going to fight it, he's not going to let it slow him down for this one. He's thinking of the bigger game, and maybe if there are cars battling ahead of him, he might be able to gain a place or two if it all goes pear-shaped, of course. Robbo now going to try and make some progress, but using the track limits a little bit to do that, which is a bit cheeky here and there, but it's what he's done. Alrighty, on the exit once again, trying to use all the tyre grip he has. He's now got no energy left in the car, which is not going to be too ideal, and it's going to make the progress very, very difficult for him to continue. Speeches all over the place, but we're about to start lap 3, so DRS will be available, and we're going to get some very interesting action. DRS might be possible for Zingy to gain, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to have to sit behind. Robbo's going to try and use everything he possibly can, and he's going to go for the send into turn 3, and he's going to hold on to DRS as well. Zingy looking for the switchback as he tries to take a different line, but I think that soft tyre is going to have too much of an advantage. Despite having DRS, it's probably not going to be worth him actually trying to fight it, to be honest. Eager Pro is about 1 second away, so there's literally no point in risking anything in this situation. He can wait behind because he knows he's on the faster strategy, riding on with those hard tyres, that he will eventually be on the pace. DRS train will now be possible, which is going to allow him to get nice and close to Devon Young, which is going to be perfect for him, of course, and that is going to be a time penalty there for Robbo as he goes once again over the track limits. So yeah, using everything. DRS available and everything that he possibly can use on the ERS, so he's going to have a look to the inside at Stowe Corner, and once again just going to let him go, not even going to fight the soft tyres. It's really not worth it because you'll have the advantage later on. Don't have a quick look to try and force the Mercedes into a mistake if possible, but as I said, it's not really worth fighting the other tyre because you know you'll be faster very, very soon. Fastest lap there for Robbo. DRS will now be available for Devon Young, and Devon Young, he's only going to get faster from this point onwards, so he should have a possible opportunity, if not this lap, on the next lap, to actually make a move, which is always going to be nice for the Red Bull team. Other Red Bull running in P5 close to the back of Eager Pro in the DRS, but they're not quite able to make a move just yet. Despite being on a medium tyre, they're going to be trying to come back a little bit later on, if at all possible. Zingy holding on to this train, only 5 tenths behind as he is just watching this happen in front of him. DRS will be available for Devon Young. Robbo, is he going to take it into the pit lane before Devon can really get anything done or not? We'll see. DRS available, he's got all the battery in the world. Is he really going to use it though? No, he will not. He knows it's not worth it. He gets very close though. He could have really tried if he wanted to. Understeering off the circuit slightly, it was Robbo, and he's now going to have a go in the braking zone, Devon Young. No, it's not going to be worth it. Going slightly deep to try and hold on to the position. Was Robbo there? But as I said, it's really not worth fighting a set of softs if you're on a different strategy as of now, and especially if you can hold on to the DRS and lose minimum time. That's always going to be an advantage for you later on in the race. Everybody fairly close together. Some have split off and formed their train here and there, but we're still riding with the leading battle. DRS is available once again, but not really close enough to make an overtake. Even if he wanted to, I'm sure he would have had an opportunity on the energy. Robbo has been just working on saving a bit of energy over the course of the last few laps, and it seems that Silverstone does allow you to do that. It's not one of the circuits which just eats the battery. It does allow you to save a nice amount and make some good progress. Alrighty, Devon Young getting a phenomenal exit. ERS is going to be used, DRS is going to be available, and I think that's going to be game over there for Robbo, as he will have a massive advantage to be gained right here. He's still going to send it to the inside, make contact, and that was always going to happen, and that is going to be him losing the position very, very easily. Mikash will even make progress, and that's going to be Robbo going into the pit lane to retire the car. That will be his run done. Devon Young leads the way, DRS available for Zingy, and he didn't even need to really bother with that one. He just sat behind and let it happen. Now he's got the DRS, he's been slung shot, and he will be able to maintain his good strategy and have this nice advantage of DRS. I'm sure he wanted to lead every lap, but you can't have everything. He's still going to have a very good chance at winning this race. The strategy should be much more advantageous to him, And we do know he's very good on a set of medium tyres since the dawn of time. So he'll be good to go. 3-second time penalty for Gutters there. That's going to hinder him a little bit later on, although he's currently running in P5. Sebi is a disconnected car behind, so he doesn't really have any worries about that. It's just if he gets close enough to the cars ahead later on, which he might do. He is on a pretty good strategy. Of course, the Red Bull's the only drivers to go for that alternate strategy. And I think maybe Mikac is just sitting behind Igapro at the moment. As he is on that medium tyre, just going to let Igapro carrying him along, which is not what you really want to do with a set of mediums. Although Igapro makes a mistake, he's going to have to let the Red Bull go. And he will get the DRS himself. So now, I was going to say, usually you'd want to be ahead if you're on the medium tyre to try and use the pace advantage that you have on the yellow wall, but it's happened automatically. Igapro does still want to get the position back nice and early. He's going to send it already back to the inside. Mikac's going to try and look for the switchback. He's going to have to go once again looking for the switchback, but no, Igapro covers it off and manages to save a very, very scary moment there and gets back into the podium position as of now. 2.4 seconds compared to 1.3 is what splits these guys, and that is the cost of battling and the cost of making a mistake. So easily done, but in addition, the slipstream chain, the DRS train, is very, very powerful and virtually impossible to counteract. Dipping the wheel in the grass there, Mikac may be looking at his phone. Lap 7 out of 26, about to start lap 28. The medium tyre should drop off about lap 10, I'm going to say. We could see a change around about that point in time. Seemed like we saw a couple of mixed strategies yesterday. Some people pitting about lap 12, some people pitting lap 16, maybe even 18 for a few. So really, it's up to your preference and what you're planning to do, an overcut or an undercut. We could see a very, very interesting mix. Zingy looks like he's kind of trying to size up something, maybe get a little bit closer than ever before and put that pressure on, wait for Devon Young to drain his battery and then go for it. However, Devon Young doesn't really worry too much battery-wise. He is using the energy as he does want to try and get closer sooner rather than later. So he's making it work. 5/10 is the gap. That should be enough to get an overtake done. It wouldn't be the easiest, but if he has a straight line speed advantage and uses energy, he might have had a chance. But 6/10 on the exit. Devon Young, he's got the tyre advantage. He was always going to stay ahead from that distance back. Maybe if they're both on the hard tyre, it would have been possible for the AlphaTauri to progress up a position, but he's going to have to wait a couple more laps. Lap 9 out of 26 begins. Let's see how it goes. Virtually dead on his lap time is Zingy, so you can tell that those hard tyres are extremely consistent, which can be a curse, actually, if you go into the medium tyre, because the medium tyre drops off and you all of a sudden struggle a little bit when you get used to that hard tyre. Although I think usually the pace advantage would be much more powerful. 4/10 this time around, so he's definitely going to try and make a move sooner rather than later, probably on this lap if possible. The sooner that he is able to get in front and hold Devon Young behind, the better, because Devon Young isn't able to maintain that advantage. On the strategy that Devon has, you're always going to want to go for the undercut. Other than that, you're going to want to just try and stay ahead. So, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting moment and pivotal in this race. DRS available, not using the energy just yet. He's sitting behind. Now he uses the energy to get a bit of a slingshot. Goes to the outside line, which is not like Zingy at all. He's going to try and hold him round the outside, hang him out to dry, but no. Coming back across is going to be the Red Bull as Zingy goes off the track and has to give the position up. Very, very good effort from Zingy, but rightfully done. He does let the position go. Otherwise, he would have been in a big bit of trouble if he held on to that move. We do want to have a look at Mikash and Igapro in a minute, but this battle, of course, is for the higher positions, which is always the one that we have to watch. Maybe if we realise that an overtake isn't going to be made by Zingy, we would go to the battle behind. They're pretty much even on closeness. ERS is not going to be used by Zingy, so he is going to wait behind still, nice and close. Mikash, however, he's using the energy. He wants to have a go to the inside, but it just wasn't enough. The Aston stays ahead for the time being, and trying to find a way through is that medium tyre runner. But as I said, this is going to be around about the drop-off point. You usually see, depending on the track, about lap 8 to lap 12 is the drop-off point. Maybe lap 16 if you're really a low-deck circuit. But Mikash has still got a little bit of work to do if they do want to make an overtake. That is going to be a yellow for Gatos as he makes a mistake. Hopefully he can stay in this race. DRS available now. Zingy, is he going to give it a second shot? No, he's going to stay behind. He catches up late on. That's just the power of the DRS and he lifts to let it go. Here we go. Mikash is going to give it a shot to go for that position, and Igapro is just going to have to give it up. He once again is on that superior strategy, although he does want to try and lose minimal time if he can try and hold on to Devon Young, and maybe think he could get a penalty later on. But I don't think that is going to be really on the top of his mind at the moment. Mikash has just made that move. He's thinking, how can I get in front? Now, Devon Young started to push maybe a little bit as he extends the gap, trying to hold on before he makes a pit stop, which is always what you want to do. That is the ultimate goal in a race, to make a strategy work. And a mistake there, which is perfect here for Devon Young to hold on. Gatos retiring voluntarily in the pit lane as he is not going to score any points today on lap 11. And that will be that for him. Zingy does manage to gather himself together once again, and he might have a go at making a move, but as of now, he's just having to sit behind that. Medium tyre is still pretty pacey, in fairness, so well done to Mikash, despite having what you should say is the disadvantage. However, we look back at this as Zingy's all of a sudden found his mojo, and he is very, very close to the back of that Red Bull. You're going to use the energy, you're going to try and get ahead into the corner. Is it going to work out though? He does get marginally ahead. He has the outside line. Is he going to be hang out to dry? Makes a mistake, does Devon Young, and he's going to be facing the wrong way on the circuit, going to lose out big time. And that is going to be Mikash Igapro promoted up the order. Now, Mikash being the car in front, it's going to give him strategy advantage, but it doesn't really matter because Devon Young's going to go nice and early into the pit lane. He's just going to take that and try and go for a bit more of a significant undercut immediately. Very well played, trying to shrug his shoulders and say that was all planned. Now, Igapro, he's going to be loving that because his worries from earlier on being slowed down by Mikash and maybe struggling to catch up to Devon Young later on, that worry is gone. Now, Zingy finds himself in exactly the same position as he did yesterday and the exact same position as he did last week on Friday. He had a battle at the beginning of the race and then everything kind of just fizzled out, and he's going to be looking to try and cruise with a 3-second gap. He is pretty good to go, especially with P2 being on a different strategy to him. He's going to be loving life at the moment. Last Saturday, however, was a little bit more tricky for him, but not worrying too much. Igapro, you can see that pace advantage is kicking in slowly but surely. He is using his energy here to try and make that move. The DRS will be a lot more powerful by the time he gets to the end of the straight. Slightly defensive is the Red Bull, Igapro doesn't really think about it. He realizes that Mikash wants to hold on to the position, so for his sake, it's probably best to try and hold on. But no, he's going to go to the pit lane and go for the extreme undercut despite being on the hard himself. That is going to be a set of medium tyres incredibly early on. This could work out very, very well, or it could go horribly wrong. I don't know. Sebi tried to go, 20 laps on the set of hard tyres yesterday. Yeah, it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. This is a different tyre compound, a little bit later on into the race, but it still could cause him trouble if he's not careful. Very long pit lane, of course, so Devon Young will be able to close in a little bit more, especially now his tyres are nice and warm, or slightly warmer. Igapro won't really take long to warm his tyres up, however, so once he's good to go, he's going to be gone. That is going to be Mikash. Just trying to hope that the hard tyres maybe be a bit fresher later on, or even hoping for a safety car. However, the chances of a safety car occurring right now is incredibly slim. I do not see that happening this race. We're going to be going all the way to the end. We've still got a fair way to go in this race. Would Zingy even try and consider going onto a set of soft tyres? It might be an idea, but I'll be honest, it's not worth the risk. If you're going for the win and you've got an advantage, you're just going to try and hold on to it, and that'll be that. He's not really going to bother about doing anything too special. Pit lane for Mikash follows on a lap after Igapro to prevent Igapro from getting such an advantage, although I think regardless he is going to have an advantage at least initially. Maybe Mikash's tyres will be better later on, and if he doesn't make any mistakes he'll be able to hold on and come back later on into the race, which would allow him to have a look at the move. But if he's not able to get in DRS range, and if he's not able to hold on because that medium tyre will be so fast, I don't know if he'll be able to get the deficit down later on. He comes out of the pit lane. Igapro is probably going to come out way ahead, if not side by side. They will come out about just behind, actually. DRS will be available. His tyres are going to be super warm compared to the hard. Is he even going to dive to the inside already? No. I don't think he got DRS, however. He's going to bank on getting a good exit. Will it be possible? He's going to use all the energy he possibly can. He did somehow get the DRS. He's going to send it to the inside. He knows what he can do on this tyre. He knows he has every advantage in the world, temperature-wise and grip-wise. He's got it done. That is that one sorted. Easily done there. Mikash tried his best to hold on, and he gave it a very good shot, but that is how it goes. P3 for him at the moment. 7 seconds behind him is Devon Young's teammate after that spin. So he's going to try and make some progress, and to be honest, he had very good pace, so he might be able to make some progress, but it's not going to be easy, especially after a spin where you're a little bit demotivated. Luckily for him, however, after this straight, when Mikash will get DRS, it's very unlikely for Mikash to hold on to the DRS, so the DRS train won't be in full effect and cause him to have issues. Right now it will, just for a moment, but then Igapro will probably break away. We'll be on lap 26 very shortly. Lap 25. No, we are on lap 15. Sorry, not 20. I was going to say lap 16. I said 26. We're on lap 15. Completely bottled that one. Lap 15. A long way to go. And he doesn't have DRS. Everybody's splitting away. Splitting apart. Devon Young sitting right here. I want to go to Zingy, who's 32 seconds in front now on a set of old hard tyres, but I really don't think he is going to do anything about that. I think he's going to probably just stay out. Now, I'm thinking, what would the gap be for a pit stop range? It's probably going to be, 30 seconds, maybe even 29 seconds to go into the pit lane. Maybe even more if you consider tyre temperatures, of course. Igapro should have quite a nice undercut, as he's gone by about 2 laps. But the AlphaTauri notices that. He doesn't want any trouble. He's not going to let Igapro catch up. He uses all the energy to try and get a perfect in-lap, which would explain why he's actually broken away from Igapro for a moment. Now, though, Zingy will drop back. The gap will close. Will it close enough for him to really fight it, though? I very much doubt it, because Zingy had such an advantage earlier on. That's the pit stop done. The Jackman did drop the car pretty earlier on from the rear, so luckily he's managed to escape absolute chaos. He will come out nice and cleanly in front. The tyres will be cold, but I think by the time Eager Pro catches up, he's going to have enough of an advantage to hold on to that position. Let's watch on board and see when we get to maybe turn 4. I think that'll be a fairly representative gap to see what the difference is on the exit. 4.4 seconds right here, it's 4.2, 4.1. Will it get to a 4.0 on the exit, or is that just going to be the gap for now? 4.0 it will, and it's even going to go to the 3-second range. That is the power of the temperature in the tyres. Once he gets to the exit of Magnussen Beckett, though, those tyres are going to be nice and toasty in a somewhat decent operating window, and he's probably not going to be able to catch up too much more than that. Regardless, according to the car he was battling earlier on, Mikash has managed to get a significant advantage, and he is loving life, so he's just going to be good to go to the end. I think he wants to try and aim for maybe a 5-second gap, if possible, and that would allow him to have no worries. Now, that is a 3.3 second gap. I do believe, according to what I said, that is probably going to be all the time that Eager Pro will gain, according to tyre temperatures. However, maybe if he found the pace, he could get into the battle. You never know. Anything can happen. It is Formula Racing. It can be very crazy, especially in online racing, even more so. But they do see the gap extending. Zingy's tyres are warm, they're good to go. And that is that sorted. Zingy leads the way, and the question is, how far will he be able to extend if he can extend it? That is a mistake there for Devon Young, unfortunately. So after that initial issue, he drops further down the order. He's still guaranteed points as long as he finishes this race, and that would be 12 points on the board, which is always going to be nice to see, of course. Zingy looking to try and get to the 4-second range by the end of this lap to break away from Eager Pro. He's almost already done it regardless, about halfway through the lap. Not even got to the 3rd sector yet. There you go, 4-second range just about hit. He drops back a little bit, but on the exit of Magnussen Beckett's, the moment of truth will arise, and he does have the gap advantage now. So he has broken away. He'll start lap 18 very, very shortly, and then he'll be good to go all the way to the end of this race. Oh, no worries time penalty wise as well. Eager Pro doesn't really need to worry about time penalty range at the moment, of course. If he was to get a time penalty, then maybe Mika should have a chance to catch back up. We have less than 10 laps remaining in this race, so just about 9 laps to go right now. In 9 laps a lot can happen, but with everybody having virtually nothing to risk at this stage, I don't think something will happen. Maybe on the last 5 laps we could see Mikash catch up and have a bit of a pace advantage. That being said, however, I don't think anybody's going to be really doing anything. 5 laps, 10 lap, that'll be 10 lap, well no, what am I talking about? That'll be 4 laps in the future. That'll be 9 lap old medium tyres for Eager Pro. His tyres will somewhat start to drop off within the next 2 laps after that, I'd say, but a 3.7 second gap to catch up 5 laps in 5 laps on slightly worn mediums compared to pretty decent tyres. I don't think that is going to be really enough of an advantage towards Mikash for him to catch up. I think he goes for the fastest lap as he is on that fairly fresh set of medium tyres. Builds his way up to it, gets it nice and comfortably. sitting in P1 like a bit of a king. We'll have a look at the difference in fastest lap. So a 29.4, the only driver to dip himself into the 29s. Then the next fastest car was a 30.399 from Igapro, who went for that significant undercut. Fastest lap is how it is right now. It's going to be difficult for him to be able to catch up. 6 seconds gap between Igapro and Zingy already. Mikash is a 10.4 second gap. And then of course 23 seconds to Devin Young. Difference between the two teammates, 13 seconds. It was 7 earlier on, but it extended a little bit, as of course there was a slight mistake from Devin Young shortly after everybody had made their pit stop, which is never what you want to see, but it can just happen. You get the domino effect, the momentum carries on. Regardless, as long as he finishes this race, he will be good to go. Just get some tyre data in, to be honest. The final race of F1 22. If he can try and enjoy it to the best of his ability, then great stuff to see. His home Grand Prix as well, which is always nice. But yeah, I'm sure he's very excited to get this one done with and move on to the F1 23 game. And I can't wait to see him in that one. He's showed some very good pace so far in this game, and I think he can be right up there for next season. Igapro 6.2 seconds, which is a decent margin that Zingy has at least. 4.9 seconds for him, almost a 5-second margin is going to be available. Now we have about 7 laps remaining. We're about to get to about 6 laps remaining of this race. And then 1 lap after that would be my kind of feeling that Mikash might start to get the advantage. Although I kind of also have the feeling that it'll probably be about 2 laps further on after I said. So we're only going to get about 3 laps of Mikash being able to try and catch up. And to get a almost 5-second gap in 3 laps, I hate to say it, but it would seem a little bit sus. It would seem pretty sus. Unless Igapro, of course, has a major issue, then it would probably just be as it is right now. Igapro doesn't need to risk anything unless he wanted to go for a fastest lap, but he's now on 8-lap-old medium tyres. I don't think he'll really be pushing for a fastest lap anytime soon. And even if Igapro did get that fastest lap, the chances are Zingy would probably be able to cover it off and go again because he is on fresher tyres. So yeah, he's not going to be worrying about it too much. That being said, I think Devin Young is going to be able to go for a fastest lap towards the end. I don't really see why not at the moment. He would go to that soft tyre regardless, with a 13-second gap. He's not going to be contested by the AI of Sebi, not only because he is an AI car, but the gap is way too big for him to be worrying about that, of course, anyway. So it is going to be as it stands, and yeah, fastest lap is always going to be a nice point to have, and it does count in the main race. It doesn't count in the sprint, but the main race, everything to play for. Gotta love the sound effects completely bugging out. You think everybody's locking up into the next corner, but they're not. The engine kind of just cuts off all of a sudden, but never mind. Once again, it might change for the next game, so we don't have long to go until we can test some new things out. A very different look to that next game as well, so we're going to have to try and get used to it. Always going to be exciting for commentary as well. We're going to be racing immediately, pretty much 1 week in to the new game. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We'll just have just over a week in the game, of course, to get used to it. So everybody's going to be mixed up. Some drivers that are usually at the front, they might struggle. Some drivers that are usually at the back, they might be able to get the early advantage and be right in the battle, of course, before everybody refines their skills and knowledge of the game, try and learn the meta a little bit. I assume, like last game, most people will be outright using the default setups, at least for the first month or so, because, you know, you just try and get used to the car regardless of setup, and then later on you try and see if you can get any advantage here and there, tweak the setup a little bit. That is the way to go. That is the recommended way to go. It is the way that everybody will be going. Even the esports drivers do that. They probably only need about 3 or 4 laps to understand the car, and then they start playing with the setup. But yeah, a lot of people will be running the default setup right off the bat, which could make the cars pretty understeery. But if everybody's on the same kind of setup, then it's not going to be too much of a big deal, of course. Now, presets are going to be interesting. Last season, or last game at the beginning, we all found out that the lowest downforce preset is still pretty decent, regardless if you've got slightly higher downforce. Will that be the same for this game? We do not know. Devon Young into the pit lane. Red Bull tyre is on to try and suit that Red Bull a little bit better. Yellow wall tyre is also pretty good, but he was on the white wall tyre just a minute ago. Now, fastest lap is definitely up for grabs. He's got a nice little margin to go for it. The question is, will Mikash try and go for it? He realises his teammate has gone into the pit lane, and now, even though he caught up Devon Young, he's got enough of a pit lane window for him to also go for a fastest laps. Could we see a bit of a battle here between the two Red Bulls? Will Mikash pit right now, or is he going to let his teammate have the glory and go for it? His teammate has had a pretty tough time after battling for the lead and then losing out tragically due to a spin. It was pretty unfortunate, but it's how it goes sometimes. Lap 23 out of 26, he's going to be going for that fastest lap on lap 24. Zingy starts lap 24 already. Mikash, is he going to go to the pit lane? No, he doesn't. He doesn't go to the pit lane. He is going to let his teammate run it. He doesn't want to get in his way and step on his toes. So fair enough. Very well played indeed. He might even still have a chance to go for a fastest lap if he pits on this lap. But after that, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually go for a fastest lap. Once he gets to lap 25, you have lap 25 to warm up your tyres. You have 1 lap to then actually execute the fastest lap. So right now, Devon Young, he will have 2 laps to go for a fastest lap, which is definitely going to be nice, although he will probably use all the energy on the first lap to get every advantage. Zingy goes and gets himself a 3-second time penalty on Cop's corner, so definitely pay him the price for that one. Regardless, though, he has got a significant advantage, so he's not going to be worrying. Here we go for fastest lap here from Devon Young. Gets through turn 1 nice and tidily into turn 3. Not hitting that sausage curb on the inside, but getting so close. That is exactly what you want to do. On the exit, ride the curb, perfectly done. ERS going to be used as you get to the straight, as you try and gain everything you possibly can. Got to make sure you distribute it a little bit, though, because you can only use so much around a lap. Turn 6, get the car nicely turned in. It responds perfectly as well on that fresh tyre. Running it consistently around the apex of turn 7. And then, of course, you now get to Cop's corner. You go through turns 8. And then here comes turn 9, one of the most notorious you can get in Formula Racing. Pretty much motorsport overall entirely. Maybe just behind Eau Rouge, you could say. The exit of Chapel has to lift a little bit as he carries a little bit too much speed onto the just previous corner. You're going to use the rest of his energy right here, purple sector. And, of course, the final bit of energy right here. He does actually have just under half a battery to go for another fastest lap, which could be a very nice opportunity. Would he even try and risk it, though? A little bit of a moment, which might allow him to have another go, but 28.8, a significant advantage. I don't think he really cares about it too much, even if he goes again. he might try and distribute the ERS a little bit more evenly. His tyres are going to be definitely up to temperature now, if they weren't already before. So fastest lap will be very, very possible. I don't know what I was chatting earlier on. He has 3 laps to go for a fastest lap. And Mikash, if he pitted on the last lap, he would have had about 2 laps to go. Now he would have had 1 lap, but he does not get it in time. He's just going to sit behind. Zingy starts the final lap of the Grand Prix. He's going to look to try and lap Sebi's AI if he can, which could be very, very possible. It might even make it look like Sebi actually goes for a nice battle for the win if the AI is going to have a photo finish with him. But we don't really care about it too much. We're going to look for the second fastest lap attempt from Gavin Young. He gets the final corner of Michaelson Beckett's done very nicely. He is up by down by 2/10 though. So unfortunately, that is probably going to be that done, unless he can get a phenomenal corner on the exit of Club, of course, because he did make a pretty big mistake there. That is probably going to be it. He uses the rest of the energy, of course, up to the line. Does he lose the rear? He doesn't lose the rear. Energy deployed, and then across the line, and it will not be a fastest lap. But he's got it regardless. He does not need to worry at all. Zingy has got the final sector to go now, and he will be able to secure a perfect result here. 9 seconds between him and the car behind, and also 9 seconds between Igapro and Mikash. So actually it extended even further than I thought. Very well done to Igapro for doing that. Very good job, and the strategy worked out. Zingy's got the final few corners of this race to go, and he's going to win the final race on the F122 game. Zingy wins the British Grand Prix for AlphaTauri. That is absolutely perfect. He's had so much success with AlphaTauri this season. He's going to be very happy with that result. Igapro taking a very, very nice P2. Perfect points for him after a very, very, very problematic race in Hungary. Mikash takes that podium after a DNF in Hungary himself, so that is perfect points for him. And he had a very nice battle as well, Devon Young. He's got a sector to go. He is going to be the last driver to finish, and he will go for a very straightforward fastest lap and a P4 position. So that's going to be, 13 points on the board. Only 1 point difference between his teammate, who is in P3. Regardless, he's not going to be sitting on the podium, which is not what you want, but he's given it a good shot, and he stayed in the race after the struggles he's had, and that is something for sure to be proud of. Zingy, though, he is the driver that has done it all. Well done indeed. And he ends the F122 game on a high. Mikash driver of the day, as he gave us some very entertaining racing, of course. Fair enough to him. And here's the final podium celebration. We're not going to be able to spend too long checking it out, though, because we haven't got too many people in the lobby, which always makes it difficult for us to record the results. We have... Oh, come on. It's not letting us... What? Look at the results. Oh, okay, there you go. Zingy takes the win. Igapro in P2. Mikash in P3. Devon Young on the fastest lap. Sebi disconnecting and DNFing with Skatos and Robbo. Race director, just in case, and if we can, of course, that would be very nice to see. And that'll be that for the Grand Prix. That'll be that for the racing in F122. We'll be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Great British Grand Prix. We start the interview and we finish the interviews with Zingy. Zingy, very, very well done. That is another win under your belt. Final win in the F1 22 game, final race in the F1 22 game. Can you take us through that one?
Do I need to say any more? And well, the sprint race was it was all right. I knew that Robbo was leaving anyway. He had to go and do something, so I didn't want to fight him too hard, even if he did try and attack me. So in the sprint race, none of that happened really. I just maintained the 9/10 gap to Igor, as I had to like 49 wings, so apparently that's quite low, but I felt quite good in the corners nonetheless. So what happened was I was just pulling away in the straights and saving ERS, and I mean I didn't really have to do much more. Igor was quick, yeah he was. That's one of the quickest I've ever seen the guy, but shame that he couldn't get it in the end. And the same with the actual race. I don't know what happened with Devin Butler, but it kind of just we went side by side, I think, and he lost it on the curb, and I had it quite simple from there really. But Igor again was keeping me honest, especially during the final few laps there when the gap wasn't going up as much. But no, I enjoyed it nonetheless. It's good to see this game behind me now.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So, I mean, very well done. You've pretty much owned this game throughout the season, throughout all seasons. So, well done. Do you think you can carry this momentum into the 23 game? Do you think the new features are going to suit you?
Well, I've obviously we've talked about it before, but I think, yeah, no, especially with the better traction, and I presume they're going to keep the controller traction. If not, then it doesn't really matter because I'm still getting used to the newest model anyway. I think everyone will be, so it's going to be a learning curve for anyone and everyone. But I think that I'll be able to, I mean, keep this up. I want to win, so I'll make that happen.
That's good to hear. No intention to ego boost here, just spitting facts. I think you're a very, very good driver at adapting very quickly, regardless of what game or car you're driving. So I think you'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, hopefully we can have some more exciting racing in the next season, and I can't wait. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
I like curbs.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Would you like to end the stream for the final time?
I was actually just about to ask you that actually,
There
but
you go.
well, I'm a driver this time, but this is weird, isn't it? Don't really do this as a driver, but as a driver and commentator, it's been great throughout the whole season. I've really enjoyed racing with people such as Niffle, Rotorn, and the rest of them for all tiers. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, racing with us, and I hope, and well, we hope we can see you in the next game. So see you later.
That's been it from the online version of Ben Edwards and David Coulthard. It's been a pleasure. See you guys soon. Bye bye.